back in action this week at Mississippi State. First ever meeting against the Bulldogs, another Power 4 opponent on the schedule this season. Coach, give us your insights on the opponent this week.
Yeah, well, good to see everybody. Good to be back in game week. One thing I can tell you is, we took full advantage of the bye week. I actually like the bye week early in the year, to be honest with you. It gives us a chance to assess where we're at, what we can do better. Obviously, there's a lot of things we can do better as a football team, and we got to continue to get better. But, we took some time to self-evaluate us on offense, defense, and special teams, and we did that. Had a chance to do some recruiting this weekend. Had our whole class come up on an official visit, which was great to get around those kids and their parents and those families, and spend time with them. We understand recruiting is the lifeblood of any program. Really excited about our recruiting class. But obviously, we into game week, and we have a tremendous opponent in front of us in Mississippi State. Coach Lippy has done a great job building the program in the way that he wants. Obviously, from year one to year two, you can see the improvement of his roster. You can see the team is a lot more comfortable with the schemes. They're playing faster. Obviously, they're undefeated. We know it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere. From everything I heard, this would be the loudest environment, the loudest crowd noise. We tried to simulate crowd noise as much as possible for our team. And, we're going to be excited to play. The one thing I told our team is, let's go out there and let's improve upon how we played the first 2 weeks. And that's the only thing that we can do is try to get better each and every single week. And we're looking forward to the opportunity. We know we playing a tremendous opponent, a very skilled opponent. You look at them, offense, defense, and special teams. You see big, long, athletic athletes, guys that can run, guys that can make plays in space, guys that can make plays on special teams, and they're doing a nice job coaching their team up. So we know we have a tremendous challenge, but for us, it's about us and our ability to try to play a lot better than what we played the last time we played. And so we took the bye week to try to improve as a football team. I think we took some steps, and I'm anxious to get out there and see if we can perform better than what we did the last time we played.
Coach, this isn't the first time you talked about crowd noise before. I know last year before Notre Dame, you said you guys are working to kind of simulate that environment. Are there any new tricks to kind of, simulate this crowd noise, especially with an SEC stadium coming up?
Well, I think this will be the loudest crowd atmosphere that we played in. So we have incorporated the bells or the cowbells into the music. So we've done that. We did that Saturday and Sunday, and then today, and then we'll do it tomorrow. And we put the speakers right behind the offense. So we try to simulate it as best as possible. We understand it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere. And I asked the players, hey, would you rather play in an atmosphere like this or an atmosphere that's quiet? And so enjoy it, embrace it. You don't get too many opportunities to play in these type of venues. I remember when I was a player, we played at Auburn, and it was unbelievably loud, but what a tremendous environment that you get a chance to experience. And we're certainly looking forward to the opportunity.
Signals on offense you use more than trying to yell because nobody could hear the quarterback or anything?
Yeah, we got to do some different things. We have to do some different things with the cadence. We have to do some different things from signals. We try to incorporate it as best as possible. But like I said, we cannot simulate what we're going to experience. So the best thing we can do is play as well as we can play and try to quiet the crowd as much as possible. If we can play well, hopefully we can quiet the crowd. But if you don't play well, I'm sure they're going to be tremendously loud.
And how confident are you feeling in the helmet technology for the communication? Because I think last year, after the Notre Dame, you mentioned there were some struggles there, some issues that came up. So how confident are you feeling this time around about its reliability?
Yeah, I mean, you watch NFL games on Sunday and you see quarterbacks struggling. You watch the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, and I've been at that stadium, and you see the quarterback struggling with the helmet communication. So it's going to be a problem. We have to handle it as best as possible. We have to do signals. We may have to run a guy in with the play. So we'll prepare for every situation that may come up, and, we'll deal with it as best as possible.
What's your assessment of the offense having, the 2 weeks to look at it? Where do you say it's at right now, and are there any changes you guys have talked about, either schematically or personnel-wise?
Well, I think, for us, we've looked at it. We've had a chance last week to practice against our defense and do some different things. I like the way we practice. And now it's about taking the things that we've done in practice and carrying it over into games. And really, the big thing is just go cut it loose. We're not playing good on offense, but the thing that's holding us back is our inability to go cut it loose. What do you have to lose? So if there is no pressure to fail, go play as free as you can play. And I think that's how that's the attitude and mentality that they need to take. I'm not as the head coach telling them to be scared or play tentative. Go cut it loose, man. What a great opportunity and opponent to play as carefree as you need to play to try to play your best football. And last week we went against our defense, and I think we have a pretty good defense. And I thought they played tremendously well on offense on Wednesday and Thursday's practice. And what I told them is, why can't you just do that on Saturdays? Be that type of offense on game day. And if you do that, we'll be fine.
You a little surprised with that, the first two games, they haven't, as you say, cut it loose?
No, I'm not surprised. I think, to me, you don't have an opportunity. In the pros, you have an opportunity to play preseason games, right? So you have a chance to get some of the kinks worked out. In college, you don't have that opportunity. So you got, a lot of new guys on your team, a lot of new starters, and this is their first opportunity in those moments. And so now you're figuring those things out. But to me, the best thing that happened to us is we have a bye week. Now we can reassess and then try to make those corrections. But like I said, like I told him today, just go play free. Go cut it loose and have fun. And remember why you play this game. I talked to him about, the head coach at Syracuse. I listened to his press conference, and he talked about his team and the underdogs. But the one thing he said is, we're going to have fun. We're going to embrace the environment. We look forward to the opportunity, and we should be the same way. We playing a tremendous opponent and a tremendous atmosphere, and we have nothing to lose. Let's go play our best football to date on Saturday and see what we can do.
Coach, after the Maryland game, you talked about how the passing game needs to make some strides forward, both with the quarterback and the receivers. Just what improvements have you seen in that facet of the game this past week? Yeah, no,
I've seen, we worked a lot on the passing game. We worked a lot with the timing. We've incorporated some new things. I think sometimes, when you practice like you over-practice blitzes, you over-practice man coverage, and we didn't execute in basic down and distance, first down passing game, where you're not seeing blitz, right? You're not seeing man coverage, you're seeing base coverage. And so we tried to make sure we practice enough first and second down pass game, first and third down pass game, and try to execute in those moments. And so I'm hoping all those practice reps that we had over the last 2 weeks pay off on Saturday.
And Coach, looking at the other side a bit, so I know for the first 2 games you played against a quarterback who was making his first career start, and one who's making his second, and now you've got Blake Shapen, who's a 6-year senior. So what challenges does that pose to the defense going up against a signal caller that experienced?
No, he's a really good quarterback. You can tell, you watch their tape from last year, and then you watch the tape from this year, the quarterback makes the biggest difference of their offense. He's experienced. He knows where to go with the ball. He gets him in and out of checks. If he misses a throw, he's going to come back and make the next throw. He's really efficient in the RPO game. The thing about their offense is they know how to stretch you, vertically and horizontally, and he knows how to fit the ball in windows. And so they have a tremendous offensive scheme. It's a challenge, and so we know we have a big test, but it's really the quarterback, and he's a runner. He's a tremendous athlete that can run the ball and stress you with his ability to make plays with his legs as well. So we know we have a tremendous challenge with their offense, and we got to make sure we do a great job defending the whole field as best as possible.
Comment on your defense. I mean, there's a stat here that you've held your opponents 20 points or less in 6 straight games. I mean, that's a pretty good number.
Yeah, I think our defense has played well up until this point. I would love to hold this team to 20 points if we can. We know that's going to be a tremendous ask, but I think we've been able to plug the next guy in. You say we got 9 new starters on defense, and those guys have stepped up, understand the expectations. Coach Harley and his defensive staff have done a phenomenal job of making sure our players are prepared. I've been really impressed with Coach Harley on the headset in game. His adjustments, his poise, his composure. I think he's really a phenomenal DC, and very happy that we were able to get him in our program.
And what fine-tuning have you done with the running backs? So, after Maryland, you also said you needed a little bit more from the run game.
Yeah, no, I think, we talk about pack yards, and pack yards is yards after contact and yards after catch. And we have to be better in those areas. To me, those are program yards. And so when we talk pack yards, right, in my opinion, if you are a good running back, you should average 3 yards after contact. And I don't care if you average 5 yards a carry, 3 yards should come after contact. And so we have to be more efficient with our ability to break tackles and be physical. And get yards after contact, and then same with the receivers. They have to get yards after the catch. And so how do you do that? You have to be a vertical runner with the ball, right? All these guys, they get the ball and they think they can make people miss. You watch NFL football, the way you make people miss is by going vertical. You don't stop your feet. And so our ability to get pack yards will help our offense be more efficient and effective as the season continues to progress.
More natural ability, though, than is it tough to teach somebody to do that or not?
No, it's not tough to teach. It's a mentality. And so that's what we have to get them to understand, that mentality, right? You're a PFF guy. You always want to pull up stats, right? So how many people have we made miss? I don't know those stats, right? But it's hard to make people miss, right? But it's not hard to get extra yards. And so we have to add that mentality to our offense, right? If you want to be better on offense, get more yards after contact, get more yards after catch. Those are hitting yardage that, we can help increase our offense. And so if we have that mentality and we take that approach, then all of a sudden you start breaking tackles, right? A 4-yard run become an 8-yard run, and now you start getting momentum. And that's what we have to be a little more physical in our demeanor, and that's what I want to see from the guys that carry the ball.
Makes it easier their play calling too. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, 2nd and 2 is a lot better than 2nd and exactly right. So every time a guy catches the ball, and we are putting an emphasis on pack yards, right? We're one pack on offense. So if we want to be good or improve on offense, can we get yards after contact and yards after catch, right? We play on a team that's very athletic, that run to the ball, and that's going to gang tackle. So how many yards can you get on your own? And the more yards you can get on your own, the better we can be on offense.
And Coach, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask. You have 3 former players on Mississippi State's team this year. Just how much do you expect to see them on the field come Saturday? And is there going to be a chance for you to kind of catch up with those guys?
You know what? I think, as far as me catching up with them, those guys are getting ready for a game. I want them to be focused for the game. So I'm not going to go over there and talk to them. I'm sure the players are all intermingled. They texting each other. That's never been my deal. I'm never going to distract a player from getting ready to perform. I watched Ray play last week. He played really well. I'm sure, they'll have a plan to play him more. He looked very physical last week when he played. He played D-line, wearing number 25. Nave played special teams. Cam played a little bit on offense. So, I'm happy for those guys. I mean, they chose a place where they're having an opportunity to make some contributions. And I'm sure I'll talk to them after the game. But, those guys are getting focused and ready to play a game, right? No different than our players. I wouldn't want a coach talking to my guys before a game. I'm not going to do that to them. I respect them. They know me. I know them. I can talk to them anytime I want to talk to them. But I'm going to let them get focused for the game and get ready to play, and I'm sure we'll talk after the game.
Just going up against these guys, does that kind of affect anything from, if not an emotional standpoint, then at least a strategic one, knowing what these guys are capable of?
Not at all. There's no extra motivation. That's just not part of the game, to be honest with you. We playing a great opponent. I'm happy for those guys. They got an opportunity. Ray graduated from here. Nave and Cam, got an opportunity to go there. And so there's no ill will. There's no hard feelings. We got an opportunity to go compete on Saturday. We're going to try to do everything possible to try to win the game and be 1-0. That's the only focus. But I haven't even talked about those guys to our team because it really doesn't matter, to be honest with you.
The way things are shaping up, I mean, this is going to be the trend you'll see in years to come. I mean, for kids moving on to different programs.
Yeah, I mean, I hope to keep the guys in our program because we love them, right? So I think the biggest thing is what I tell our guys is you just got to figure out, how much is your career worth, right? And that's what you have to figure out. And I think that's the biggest thing I tell guys now is what is the value of your career? Is it $50,000? Is it $75,000? Is it $100,000? What is the value of your career? That if somebody gave you this amount of money, would you be happy if you never played another snap? Okay? And that's, to me, I think that's the biggest thing. To me, I wanted to play. I enjoy playing. I enjoy competing. Right now, if somebody give you $500,000, then that's a different story, right? ESPN came out with all the numbers for how much they paying guys. I think that's the greatest thing ever, right? They paying quarterbacks $1.5 million. They paying running backs $500,000. They paying receivers $700,000. If they're giving you that type of money, listen, more power to you. If they're not, they telling you what they think about you, right? And so make sure you understand, get the information, and understand your value. And if you have to understand what is it worth to play, right? What is your career worth? I enjoy competing. I enjoy playing, right? My career was worth a lot more than what some of these guys are getting from a monetary standpoint, in my opinion.
Is there a strategic component to going up against them? You know, knowing them having been in the program, knowing when you see them on the field what they're going to do. Is there that element to going up against them?
Are they starting? So what strategic component? Right?
I was just curious.
No, I'm just saying when I look
I don't
at
know. That's why I'm asking.
are they starting? The strategic component is we are watching the people that are in the two deeps and starting, right? So that's the only strategic component that we are concerned about. Last week, Ray Thomas played extremely well. I would imagine they would play him a little bit more based on what I saw on tape. If he plays more, we understand who he is and what he can do and what he's capable of doing at the defensive end position. We will be prepared for what he can provide if they play him more on defense.
Coach, I know this morning when we talked, you talked about, having love for your players, loving them like sons. And when you see some of these former guys that have come through this program make plays on other teams, like Skylar Howard with the thick six and Grayson Barnes, his touchdown to force overtime, does it give you kind of a sense of pride to see him making plays like that? So,
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for him, but also it gives me pride knowing that, they all came from here, which means they were all developed here. They were all recruited here. They were all evaluated here. That's not talked about enough, in my opinion. So we can say we lost them, or you can say, you know what? Somebody had to evaluate these guys. Somebody had to develop these guys, right? Somebody had to take care of these guys, and maybe we don't have the financial resources to keep them, but if we did, we would be a lot further ahead than a lot of other people. That's how I look at it. So you have to be a lot better than a lot of people if they come in to take what you have. That's how I look at it. Because they can't do what we can do. If you can do what I can do, then you don't need to take what I have. Right? Because I'm not looking to take what you have. That makes sense?
Anything else for Coach?
Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Just in case anybody was curious.
What was that?
Syracuse is playing Clemson at Clemson.
Oh, okay.
So he's trying to equate them going to the Clemson atmosphere.
Okay.
All right, so we have our student athletes this week: Jasper Beeler, safety; offensive lineman AC Curry. Here for your questions, fellas, whenever you're ready.
I'll start this week for both of you. So you both just got off a bye week. Just what's been the main focus for each of your respective units?
Really just getting back to practice, staying consistent, getting back in the game flow. Obviously, Coach Hammock said we had a lot of good on good, so that was nice to go against the defense because I believe it's the best defense we'll play all year. So it's nice to go against them once in a while.
Yeah, I think just getting back to good on good periods this week, really sharpening our edges, getting better each and every day, and then like you said, getting more, reps against the ones. So I think that'll help.
And this will also be for both of you, whoever wants to start. So you just get off of playing a Big Ten foe in Maryland, and now you're facing another Power 4 opponent from the SEC, Mississippi State. Just how are those two teams different from your perspectives, or at least for what you have to face on your side of the ball?
Typically when it comes to bigger opponents, our coaches always tell us our opponents are nameless and faceless. So we usually keep that same mentality regardless if we're playing Power 4 or Group of 5. So I believe our mentality is going to stay the same, regardless if it's an SEC opponent. It's just another game. So.
Yeah, similar to AC. I mean, our mentality won't change based on who we're playing. You know, at the end of the day, it's nameless, faceless opponent. We got to go out there and do what we need to do. So.
It's more of a what do they bring to the table. It's like
Yeah.
as far as like what their talented wise or like what their biggest threats are.
Yeah, no, I think especially for Mississippi State offense and Maryland's offense is very similar. You know, they're good at receiver, they have good passing game, quarterbacks play well. So I think it'll be a similar game, and we just got to go out there and play our game.
Solid defense. Guys obviously fly around. They got a guy from us, so I mean it'll be nice to see him again. So that'll be nice.
AC, just Coach mentioned one of the biggest things for the offense is trying to just go out there and cut it loose. And that's kind of one of the things kind of maybe holding the offense back to these first two games. What's the message been to you guys about that, and how have you seen the offense take to it?
It's really been similar. Like cutting it loose, like when it comes to practice, like when we go good on good, I feel like that's typically when we tend to cut it loose. But when we go like versus scout team, he always tells us we can't play down to like our opponent's ability. So like you have to have the same mentality when it's scouts and good on good. So obviously just trying to keep that same flow when we switch team periods and things like that.
And this week for Jasper, so when you look back at the tape for that Maryland game, and now you've had the bye week to kind of fine-tune some things, what are the biggest areas that you guys need to address going into this game?
As a defense?
Yeah, defense.
I would just say more so just the passing game. I think from an execution standpoint, we could have just been a little sharper. And then just what we've been kind of saying all week, just winning the moment. But like kind of back to the Maryland game, the play that I gave up, and just not allowing that, and being sharper in those moments.
I think one thing, guys, when you play a bigger opponent, is just combating the athleticism of your opponent. We already talked about how much AC ball is down the field. For you guys, especially on the line, how do you combat just trying to be more physical than a team that maybe a lot more sharper athletic?
Yeah, our coach, he really heavy emphasizes on strain, and that's really all we have. Like if no one, he always says like no one can outstrain. Like if you can outstrain a Husky, like if we're outstraining our defense, we can outstrain anybody on our schedule. So.
And this will be for both of you as well. I know Coach Hammock said that this upcoming game at Starkville, it's going to be one of the last environments you've been in. And AC, I know you've been in a lot of environment with Notre Dame last year. And obviously the Cowbells out here, they're going to be playing practice too. Just how are you guys kind of working with that loud noise in practice?
It's been a good experience. We played obviously Notre Dame last year, and then 2 years ago Nebraska. So like obviously having the same that crowd noise, it's a great environment to play in. Obviously in practice, the first day or so is it's a little rough. Like obviously changing things a little bit around, but I don't think it'll change at all really. Like when it comes to our play style and stuff, like we'll get through first few plays and then we'll be good.
Yeah, I mean, just myself, this is, coming from D2, this is stuff that you dream for, dream and pray for every single night. So I'm excited. I couldn't be more excited for this game because, again, this is something that you look forward to, your entire life.
And this is the biggest environment you've played in, right, Jasper?
Yeah. I can't wait.
Any other questions for our guys? Seeing none? Thank you, guys.